Hey, this is Bruce Boudreau, and you're listening to Empty Betters with Nick, Mack, and Harrison. But listen, what about something like, hey, listen, we're the Empty Betters, and you want to lose your money? You bet on us.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to episode 134 of Empty Betters. I'm your host, Harrison Scholes, and it has been a hot minute, but right now I am going to toss it across the screen to my co-host, Nick Manella. Nick, it is so good to see your beautiful face on camera again. How's your summer going?
Dude, it has been a while. Honestly, I know it's been like what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and I know I say this every time, but it feels like it's been 3 months. I guarantee you we're gonna fuck up a bunch of stuff here on this episode today. So please bear with us on that. But my summer's been good, man. Uh just been hanging out here recently. Just got back from a great week in Denver. That was awesome. Spent the weekend in Richmond for the NASCAR race. So I have been on the go nonstop. So I am ready for hockey season to start and bring me back down to earth.
Yes, we will get into the festivity details a little bit later on. But before we get there, I want to introduce our other co host up in Wisconsin, Mac Vogel. How are we doing?
We
Sounds
are back, baby. That's how we're doing.
It sounds about right. How things up in Wisco?
Things are great. Yeah, it's been a good summer so far. Definitely have some fun stories. A couple of them beer league related, as will come to no surprise to most of you, and also might come as little surprise to some of you. I will be sharing yet another story that involves stolen booze from a pro sporting event. So, um, yeah, same old, basically with me.
Sounds about right. And then our intern, are you still in Illinois?
Yes, sir, I am still in Illinois.
Our intern at Jackson Gross. How has your summer been going?
Incredibly busy. I'm getting excited though. Got 2 weeks before I'm officially moved into my senior year apartment to stop going to school and paying thousands of dollars every year. So
Yeah, welcome to the club. It's a very exclusive club. It's like 80% of America's in it, so you should feel very welcome.
oh,
Um,
I do.
all right. Well, like I mentioned, we will get caught up on all the details of everybody's summer a little bit later in the episode. We just kind of want to run through the hockey part of the episode real quick. But before we get to that, we have a little fun segment here in the dog days of summer for the NHL. Action obviously is very slow. We're here in the middle of August. We got some World Junior action, but not much news. So Jackson is actually going to run through a hat trick segment that we're going to do. Kind of similar to like a top five, whatever, like top five favorite, hockey teams, arenas, whatever. But we're just going to do three. And Jackson has the topic in the order of the draft.
So yes, I do. So our hat trick topic for today is going to be former most hated players in the league. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really quick. I'll do that in a minute, but I have a wheel here that will go ahead and decide the draft order. It'll be a regular snake draft, like every fantasy football draft that you've ever probably done. So we'll go ahead and go with spin number one. Oh, Harry, you get number one pick for most hated
Wow.
player.
Nice.
Okay, so I have a question. So we're talking former players. If the player is still playing hockey, but it's not in the NHL, does that count?
I think
I
that's
will say
fine.
yes.
I'll allow it.
You
For
allow
me,
it?
for me, the number one criteria is that they had to somehow torture you or make you angry, like at least 5 to 10 years ago. I would say.
Okay, I can do that. All right, first pick. Honestly, I did no preparation for this. I don't even think we knew if it was former or current players until we got on here. So I have nothing on me at the moment. But former players, my first overall pick, hated former players. This one's gonna probably surprise a lot of people because it doesn't have much correlation to Penguins. I've never been a big Kovalchuk fan, and that's why I asked you guys the question if it could still be playing or not. There was I think it was Brandon Dubinsky on Twitter like retweeted something the other day about how Kovalchuk in like Sid's rookie year like scored a clapper when Sid took a dumb penalty and like pointed at him right after. It's a pretty well-known clip. That kind of triggered my hate for him. And then once he went with like Jersey and he was in the division, he'd score every shootout goal under God's green earth on Flurry, and it just drove me absolutely bonkers every single time. And he single-handedly beat the United States college team back in what, 2016, 18?
16. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's up
Which we
there.
watched together at what, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning.
Yeah, that was a good time. So I'm going to throw Kovalchuk as my number one pick.
It's a good one.
Yeah. All right. We'll go ahead and go to wheel spin number 2. The boy with the shades, Mac. You have pick number
Wacky
2.
boy.
All right. This is tough for my number 1 overall pick. There's definitely a few names that I'm kind of tossing around right now, but like Nick said to me earlier, this is a go with your gut type of game we're playing here. And this guy, I do respect him. I really do, but he tortured me so much through childhood. With the number 1 pick, we select Daniel Briere.
That's a good
Wow,
one.
that was on my list. Shit.
Yeah.
I mean, he really is a good player. He's fun to watch, and Sabres fans, you gotta love what he did way back in the day too. But Flyers, he played for pesky teams too, right? Like just absolute teams that get under your skin in the first place, and then he's the number 1 guy on that team doing it. But yeah, he knows how to score some goals and just knows how to annoy the hell out of you.
It's a good one.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna go ahead and figure out number 3 and number 4 overall pick. So go ahead and go with the last wheel spin. Nick, it's you. You're number 1 most hated player.
Matt Cook.
That was literally my second choice.
Yeah.
I knew one of that was good. Hey, he played for the Caps. What do you
And
mean?
the Penguins too.
I know.
And didn't he
did.
play for the Lightning as well?
I believe that's correct.
Played
Yeah.
for the Wild too.
Yeah. Just a absolute greaseball piece of shit hockey player. Just not a good thing to say about him. So next.
Know that.
All right. So with that means now I have back-to-back picks on my most hated players. And with the number 1 pick, the interns take David Backes as their number 1 most hated player.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Obviously big division rival with the Blackhawks back in the day. Absolute annoying piece of shit. Captain of the Blues, and just a really physical player who probably got away with some borderline dirty shit throughout his career, especially against the Blackhawks. So that's going to be number 1. And then with the first pick in the second round of the most hated players draft, the interns take Alec Martinez during his days with the LA Kings.
Oh,
This motherfucker scored 5 goals in the 2014 playoffs, the year the Kings ended up winning the Stanley Cup. One of them, which shouldn't have happened because Justin Williams slash, which I'll go to my grave on, goes off of Nick Leddy in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. That was the year they pulled the bullshit where they won 2 Game 7s after being down 3-0 against the Sharks and 3-1 against the Ducks. So Alec Martinez is just the most annoying player ever. And the sidebar, especially with that team, that 70s line with Toffoli and Jeff Carter, absolutely hated them too.
It was Tanner Pearson too, right? Was the other end of that? Damn.
Yep.
Wait, it was Pearson, Carter, and who was the other one?
Toffoli.
Oh wow, I was gonna say, did all 3 of those guys at some point play in the Penguins after leaving the Kings? I guess 2 of the 3 did, but that's pretty interesting. Also worth noting, Martinez not retired, but we're allowing Jackson with the hatred there. So just want to
like when you said it, my brain cut to that conference finals overtime winner. So
yeah, makes all the sense in the world. Who's it go to? Mac?
It goes to Nick because he had the second to last.
My second selection will be Christopher Kunitz. he can royally go fuck himself.
Legit.
Pesky little shit that is massively overrated in my opinion. Really never accomplished anything in the NHL. So I just wanted to see Harry's face. But
Wow.
You
Yeah.
gotta at least respect him. Like that's one
Chris,
of the ones.
like so mainly this one for me because that stupid overtime winner he had to send the Penguins to the Cup final against Ottawa. I'm not a Sens fan by any mean. That's one of the hardest like TV remote spikes I've ever had. I was like, are you kidding me? These assholes are gonna go do it again? Like,
This is the greatest hockey game I've ever watched. I can
no,
say that
not even
confidently.
close. Yeah, not even close. But
Very
yeah, Chris
confident.
Kunitz, second pick, locking it in.
All right.
All right.
Mac.
This is tough. I didn't know where I was going after Matt Cook was selected because, you know, we were really banking on him for our number 2 pick here. But I think we're gonna stick with the Daniel theme and go for number 2 as Daniel Carcillo.
Yeah,
Oh,
that one's not surprising to me at all.
Kind of
Yeah.
a suitcase too, right?
Yep, he did move around, especially towards the end, I feel like. But I think of the Flyers yet again. And I'm just gonna have all Flyers players at the end of this, probably. But yeah, I think of the Flyers most when I think of him.
mhm.
Yikes. All right. I've got a lot swirling through my brain for picks. I got the next 2, right?
You got back to back.
I know one of them for sure.
Do you? I actually
Uh-huh.
okay. I'll be fully transparent. I don't think one of my next 2 is going to be a Caps player.
Really?
Yeah. Why? Who are you going to say? I'm not going to pick him.
Winter Classic 2011?
Okay, that makes
I
sense.
thought for sure you were going to come.
Steckel,
Yeah.
no, Steckel was. I get it. Like, I guess because don't get me wrong, that play ruined a lot, but it's like a one-time like freak incident. You know, like it's not like it repeated itself.
Yeah.
The guys I'm thinking, I just can imagine like a bunch of instances where I was just like, Jesus Christ. I guess number 2, I'm gonna go with Scott Hartnell. I absolutely
That's
hate,
a good one.
dude, that 2012 year when it was like the last game of the season in Pitt, and then he like tries to beat the shit out of Vitali, and then Hulk Hogan, Penguins fans like mocking him, and then the whole playoff series with like 1,000 fights. Like it was a toss up between him or Chemo Timonen, and I was gonna pick one of the 2. But I'm gonna go with Scott Hartnell at number 2. Just Flyers, Penguins, you can't skip that. And the number 3, I've kind of battled back and forth in my brain. I'll tell you who I have, and then I'll give my backup. I'm gonna have Brandon Dubinsky at 3. I think you all can guess why. He hates Crosby. I hate him.
I hate him too. That's a great pick.
They fought. I mean, I respect him as a player. I don't think he's like a dirty piece of shit, but God, he just got under our skin so much. And I really hated playing against him, whether it was the Rangers or the Jackets.
So he fought Sid, right?
Yeah.
He also fought Ovi. Is he the only player to fight both of them?
He's gotta be. There's no way he's not.
Interesting.
He's gotta be. I know honorable mention, I guess, who I was going back and forth in my head. I was gonna go Trevor Gillies of the Islanders just because of the 2011 slaughterhouse that we had with the Islanders, where he like beat the shit out of, I can't remember who it was. Maybe it's Tyler Kennedy, and he was like on the Zamboni track, like doing the Tom Wilson before Tom Wilson made it famous. So yeah, I guess that's my honorable mention.
That's legit. I'm trying to think of a really good last one. I feel like it'd be too easy to go with like one of the just absolute bruisers from like the mid 2000s, like Chris Simon or like Brendan Witt. Even though those guys played for the Caps too, I can still think of like just really dirty things that they did where I'm like, why are you the way that you are? But I don't know. I feel like I have to go with a little bit more under the radar guy. I'm gonna go with Tuomo Ruutu.
Oh, okay.
I just think of him as a menace. He is a big bruiser guy too that just puts the hurt on. And I feel like to round out my team, I need somebody who can really like stick up for Daniel Carcillo and Daniel Briere when they like inevitably piss people off, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Didn't one of the Rutus bite someone at some point?
I was trying to think. There was like one incident, and I actually can't even remember if it was Yarko Ruutu or Tuomo Ruutu, but it was
I think it was Yarko, and he might have played for the Pens, I think, the year it happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I will also give an honorable mention. Wasn't like Jordan Tutu an absolute menace too? You remember that guy?
He was a
Yeah.
menace, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He comes to mind big time as well.
That's
Yeah,
a good one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that makes sense. Nick.
Is that me again, Jay?
Yep.
Cool. I am gonna finish up with Aaron Asham.
That's a great one. That's so good.
Big fuck Penguins guy, huh?
Yeah, one specific incident comes to mind, but just some other ones too. Yep, exactly. The Jay Beagle taking a nap on the
that
ice
one
incident.
is brutal. Yeah,
Yeah.
I hate that.
That's definitely a YouTube clip that did not age well for 2022, but you know what? It was well over 10 years ago. So it is what it is. But Aaron Asham, and then as an honorable mention, Harry, just to round this list out evenly, it was going to be him or Tyler Kennedy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Holy
Yeah.
crap. I love TK.
I don't know why. I just always thought he looked like a bowling pin. So
So, time out. Were all three of the players at one point Penguins? Who is your?
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Cook,
course.
Kunitz, Asham, and then honorable mention would have been Kennedy.
Yeah, there you
Wow.
go.
I mean, it like
Hater.
go with your gut, right?
I don't hate it. I mean, I respect it, honestly. I probably should just picked all Caps players. So,
Dale Hunter would have been a good one if you're not a Caps fan.
Very
He,
true.
he pissed a lot of people off.
Chris Clark came to mind, but
Interesting.
Legend.
Yeah.
He was a warrior.
well, exactly. And he played against my team. Anyways, I don't want to
Yeah.
steal Jay's spotlight.
Quick fact check. It was Jarkko Ruutu. He bit Andrew Peters of the Buffalo Sabres
All right,
back
I
in
remember that.
2009. Then give me
Wow.
Yarko. I'll
They
take
were-
Yarko
okay.
instead of Sloan.
Switching it up.
Dude, it's crazy. I remember that game. I'm pretty sure the Pens were wearing their powder blues right about then after the Winter Classic here. That's
Wow.
my mind needs help.
I could like you'll remember that, but like I can't remember like what I stood up to do 2 minutes ago. Like that kind
Oh, I'll
of
get yelled at for not remembering to turn the air off or something like that. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. So with the last pick in the most hated players draft, the interns take former Minnesota Wild winger Zach Parise.
Wow.
It wasn't that he was like one of those physical bruiser guys. He was like one of those pesky little fuckers that was just extremely good, came up in big moments against the Hawks in playoff series they never won, I think, except like once that I can think of. So dude just always raised my blood pressure anytime the Blackhawks played the Wild, and he was just so fucking annoying. So
New Jersey Devils legend.
Yeah, when he was in his prime, he could hurt you in any way, whether it was the corner, in the slot, just along the wall. Dude was an absolute Swiss Army knife.
Surprised nobody picked Sean Avery. Bit of a slam dunk, but
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So, quick question: is Parise under contract for this year or no?
I think they bought him out or
Mhm.
something, didn't
they
they?
did.
Yeah.
Okay,
Weird.
I actually didn't know. It
Matt
Yeah,
doesn't-
Martin. I'm surprised no one said Matt Martin also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he would
Yeah.
have been a good one. Who else?
Parise signed a 1-year, $750K contract with the Islanders.
Basically retired. We'll count it. Boom. Yeah, I'm trying to think of who else could have gotten.
I
on
thought
that
about
list.
going like the Rangers route, but like I wanted to say like Stepan or McDonough
Yeah.
or
Callahan.
Callahan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that
fair.
one definitely comes to mind.
Honestly,
thought
I
about that.
used to hate Carl Hagelin when he was on the Rangers
Same.
and
Oh
the
my
Penguins.
god.
That dude was the bane of my existence, and now I'm
Yeah.
like, this guy is harmless. I love
I
him.
used to hate
Like-
Lundqvist like with a burning passion.
Oh yeah.
When Kuznetsov retires, he'll be on there for me. So
Wow.
100%.
You don't like the you don't
I
like seeing the
can't
fly guy?
stand that shit. Listen, I respect.
Oh, have you
the
not
story.
heard?
No, I respect the story behind it. I just don't like it.
You mean you haven't heard?
It was my understanding that everyone had heard.
Oh, you understood incorrectly, Mr.
Yeah.
Penguin hater.
Oh,
All right.
God.
So hopefully you guys enjoyed that little segment. Figured it would switch some things up while the news is slow this summer. We are going to get to the league news, but before we do, just want to remind you guys that this episode is brought to you by Brackish Life. If you're like us and grew up on the water and outdoors, then Brackish Life is perfect for you. They have a wide selection of gear from UV shirts to hoodies and hats. It's Real Bay apparel made by Real Bay people. Head to www.brackish.life today to check them out. A little salty, a little fresh, Brackish Life. Nick, I know you were wearing some Brackish Life over at your time in Colorado, looking sharp.
I was, yeah, man. It kept me cool, and shout out to Kyle. They have been absolutely killing it lately. So great to see our friends over at Brackish Life doing so well.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get to the league news here real quick. So latest update that we're all really stressing about, obviously, because we're big jersey heads over here. Adidas will not renew the NHL jersey deal after the 2023-2024 season. Adidas took over from Reebok as the NHL's uniform manufacturer on a 7-year deal in 2017. It introduced new technology into the sweaters, and they are most known for their popular reverse retro series jerseys that served as alternates for all the teams in the NHL over the past couple of years. Adidas also will not be renewing with its NHL players, according to Greg Wyshynski. Its biggest client is Edmonton Oilers captain Connor McDavid.
That's a big client to not want to renew a deal with. Just saying.
So before we talk jerseys, I just want to say, like, if I'm Adidas, I was thinking about this today, like, McDavid will make one Instagram post every 4 months and it's sponsored, and he's wearing the same pair of gray and white shoes in every single photo. So if I'm them, I'm kind of like, dude, what the shit? Like, like you see like LeBron or Giannis or anybody, like the big time athletes, they come into the games like wearing all sorts of like crazy Nike shit that's like super branded. So I kind of don't blame them on that front. It seems like a kind of a not great return on your investment there. But nonetheless, let's talk some unis. Who do you guys want to see take over the rights to this?
Don't go back to Reebok. I really hope they don't. I hated the Reebok.
Thank you. Honestly, I would love to see CCM get this.
Oh, so you want like a hockey brand.
Look at like what CCM does with like the jerseys in the A and like the O, the dub, and the Q. They are so clean. They have a perfect mix of retro ones and current ones. Like the Hershey Bears current one that I showed you guys. It's got like the cool like zigzag pattern like on the collar too and stuff. Like it is just so detailed. I think they did a great job with it. So yeah, hopefully those guys get it on Max Dome.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I would not mind seeing Under Armour take a step in there. I know that's maybe a hot take, but there's some of their college uniforms, specifically the Boston College ones, those are money. And
those are good.
Yeah.
I knew somebody would say it and I thought about it, but for me, I'm worried if it goes to Under Armour that it'll just get too like football-y in a weird way. You know what I mean?
Like lacrosse-y or like highlighter orange and yellow everywhere.
Yeah, I'm a little worried I don't know. I would much rather an actual hockey brand like CCM have it.
Nike would be sick. I just don't see them doing it. Like they've been out of hockey since like how long has it been now?
Yeah, they've been out for a while, and they also have they would then have all 4 major team sports in North America under contract for uniforms because baseball has it.
They do baseball now?
Yeah, you haven't noticed that? Look at the unis. They're baseball and basketball and football. Yeah.
Wow.
So if they got hockey before. What have your guys' thoughts been on Adidas so far? I've actually really have enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought they looked good.
They've done a decent job with what they've. I mean, they sort of came in and were just sort of handed it, did their same thing for like 2 years, and then they got creative with it. So that's good. I mean, at least they did something in their 7-year time in the sport. So the reverse retro thing was a home run. People went crazy for that.
Well, and they're already doing those again. So at least we get one more re-up of that before they peace out.
Yeah.
I kind of just don't understand, like, maybe they pull away from like their athletes. Like I get that, but I don't know why they're ditching like making the jerseys entirely. I kind of am disappointed by that.
Yeah, it's weird.
Who's like a dark horse brand? I'm trying to think. What if Puma stepped up?
So that's what I was thinking. Crazy. It would be weird,
Starter.
But like, yeah.
That would be no lie.
TK.
That would be gas. Yeah. I would be for it. I'm with it. I have no problem.
Yeah.
I don't know, Franklin.
Oh my God.
Franklin Sports step up.
Yeah.
High tech.
Modell's branded like specific like generic jerseys and stuff.
Played again sports.
Yeah.
The empty betters jerseys that we have, like the Played Again logo on it.
Yeah. All the NHL jerseys have the stop sign on the back.
Oh my God.
We need to get these up for sale. All right. Moving on. Is he injured or is he not? The world
Our
may never
favorite
know.
player. Our
Oh,
favorite
no.
player.
Robin Lehner is expected to be out for the entire season for the Vegas Golden Knights after undergoing hip surgery over the past week. He had 23 wins for Vegas last season. Huge news coming out of Vegas. I know it's been a minute since we've recorded, but it's also worth mentioning Bruce Cassidy is also their new coach, and they're already making golden statues out of him. So I don't know what's going on with that team. I'm officially on the fuck Vegas wagon, but what are your guys' thoughts on Vegas going into the season, knowing their number one goaltender is out?
All I can think of when I think about the Vegas Golden Knights, like literally, if you mention Vegas Golden Knights, I just start picturing a clown putting on his clown makeup in a mirror, just looking at himself, just putting on clown makeup. That's it. That's the Knights. That's VGK right there.
You've just helped me create a new meme. I will get on that as soon as possible.
Good. I expect to see that on my desk by 8 a.m. tomorrow.
the clip from the end of Billy Madison when Steve Buscemi's putting on the lipstick in
Yeah.
the mirror.
Right.
Or even better, just seeing like the Joaquin Phoenix's Joker try and
Yes.
smile
Yes.
and start to cry.
My first thought is like, who in the hell is going to start a net?
So that's what I was going to ask. Could someone pull up
I'm
daily?
on it. I'm on it.
Yeah. See who is it? Laurent Brossois? Or are we off that wagon?
Oh.
I thought he went to like Winnipeg or something like that.
I thought
or,
so too.
You're probably my brain cells in the last.
I think
month
it's
have
like
been
Logan
fried.
Thompson or maybe it's
Yeah.
Brossois. I don't know.
Regardless, do you think Vegas will be a playoff team this year?
It's so hard to
Mm.
say because, like, on paper, you would say no brainer that team's in the playoffs. I don't know. I feel like this is going to be the year that it just turns from an implosion to an explosion and just blows up.
And yet again, Jack
I would-
Eichel is trapped.
I would like to see it personally.
It's hard, man. I really don't like Vegas now. Like just the whole management group, the amount of turnover. I'm not a fan. But man, Jack Eichel, dude, like this guy hasn't been to the playoffs yet, and we're on year what 7, 8 coming up. I can't remember.
Mhm.
I
It's
think,
rough.
I don't know. I think it was a mistake for him to leave the East.
What would you do if the Sabres make the playoffs before VGK does? Like
They will.
before Jack Eichel does as a Knight.
I think they actually might.
I think they might.
Yeah.
I actually don't think you're crazy if you say that.
Also,
JD.
like, call me crazy. I think Seattle might win a cup before Vegas does.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I mean, they made some pretty good moves this offseason. Seattle did. I will give it to them.
Jay, you got a depth chart up?
So I do. So currently, this is according to Cap Friendly. They do have Laurent Brossois, and they do have Logan Thompson.
Okay.
But they also have Leafs legend Michael Hutchinson in the minors as well, along
Okay.
with Jiri Patera.
Okay.
As
Bless
we know
you.
who that.
players.
We know who that is. Yeah, sure.
That all sounds good.
The Czech Republic legend.
Oh, thank you for informing me. I apologize for not understanding.
All right. Well,
That's talk in Vegas so far. So
Yeah.
moving
Hold on real quick though, like the statue thing, like that was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
it's so stupid.
So for those who don't know what we're talking about, there is apparently a giveaway on one of their home games early on in the season where they're giving away a like golden statue from the shoulder up of Bruce Cassidy, who they just hired like 3 weeks ago. And they're giving it away to all their home fans, some home game in like November or December. And no one really knows why. I guess they're trying to play it as like the golden theme, like it's gold. I don't know. I don't know what they're going for. It doesn't
I
make
saw
sense.
like, I mean, the memes of this have been hysterical. There's like, I mean, like someone did like yogurt from Spaceballs, like the little gold guy. Like someone was like, why would I want like a Buddha statue of my hockey coach? Like,
Yeah. It's a little strange in my
Yeah.
opinion.
it's like
I know-
also like he just got hired. Like,
Yeah, it's not like he's a legend, right?
right.
Like, it's Bruce Cassidy, and he'll probably end
Right.
up getting fired in 2 years because people don't like to play for him. So,
True.
all right, yeah,
Tone deaf if I've ever seen it.
let's talk in Vegas this summer. Moving on, Max Pacioretty of the Carolina Hurricanes, no longer the Vegas Golden Knights. Surprise, surprise. He is going to have surgery and will likely be out the first half of the season. due to recovering from a torn Achilles. So obviously the Canes get Pacioretty. We didn't really have an episode talking about all the trades that went down, but obviously a big acquisition for them. And it's kind of gonna suck for them not getting him until probably after the new year. So yeah. The Rangers, they named Jacob Trouba the 28th captain in franchise history. Single-handedly won them the series by concussing Sidney Crosby, so that's great. I don't think we need to talk about this team anymore, do we?
Anyways, moving on.
The internet loved that one.
Yeah, they did.
Penguins Twitter was in flames on that one. So
Yeah.
that was a good laugh for me. The Bruins, they're bringing it back, man. They're going for one more run at it all. They bring back David Krejci from the Czech Republic and also get Patrice Bergeron back on a one-year deal. And they also signed Pavel Zacha to a one-year deal. The Bruins are bringing it back. They're going for one more. What are your guys' thoughts?
Annoying.
I like what they're doing. I'm not gonna lie. I respect it. I hate the Bruins, but I kind of respect it. And like that tweet I sent you guys about like how they were talking about, just like they're really trying for like one last dance type of thing. It's you got to respect the hustle for sure. I think it's cool that Krejci's coming back and trying it one more time with the boys.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. Although weird side note, I feel like the last dance thing is starting to get really overused. I mean, it was one thing like when it first came out with the Bulls and they'd won 3 titles. These motherfuckers haven't won a title in 11 years. They haven't won
That's
a
fair.
title since I was in elementary school. This is not some like huge dynasty that won like 3 or 4 cups together, made 6 Stanley Cups, and did all this.
True.
They made one finals and lost to a team that had never won a Stanley Cup ever.
You make a good point, honestly. I mean, I don't disagree with anything you said, and I'm all for dunking on the Bruins too. So
I think they're
hell-
going to be
hell
like
yeah.
annoyingly good this year. I think we're going to see
Yeah.
like a second round playoff berth from this team. I don't know why. I think getting Cassidy out of there, getting some of those guys like to buy back in, getting DeBrusque to buy back in, I think it's going to work out great.
Goaltending still a little bit of a question mark, but
Yeah, I also don't think it's a coincidence that the actual Chicago Bulls fan on the podcast is, referencing how Last Dance is overused. I don't think that's a coincidence there, my friend. So, yeah, but I respect it. I agree with you. It might be a little overplayed here these days.
Well, because then like Brady and like Gronk and all them were talking about it. So
Yeah, they actually win though. So I guess that's
Exactly.
I know it's so fucking annoying. It's like it's
Alrighty. The Calgary Flames, obviously, since we last spoke, the blockbuster deal of Kachuk and Huberdeau went down. You've heard all the analysis on every network about that. We're not going to really touch on that. But what we will touch on is that Huberdeau signed an 8-year, $64 million extension in Calgary. There was a lot of speculation if he would re-up there, given the fact he was going to be a free agent after this year. But he does. What are your guys' thoughts?
that is how you get someone to move from Miami to Northwest Canada.
Oh, yeah. You got to sign him to 64 mil?
Yep.
I think you're actually missing about 20 million in that deal. I think it was 8 years, 84.
84 million. No
Giddy
glasses
up.
on. There you go.
Wowee.
No glasses on. Apologies. Yeah, so that would take the AAV to over what, 10 mil a year?
Yeah, just over about 10.4 random crap.
Yeah. I
did
think
you
we're in
guys
for it.
see the video of some Flames fan getting him to sign their Kachuk cards?
Yes. So funny.
He was like in his car and they like pulled up to him with the window down. We're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to bother you. Can you sign this real quick?" And he's like, "Sure." And he's like signing, and halfway through, he like kind of realizes he's like, "Oh my god, this is a Matthew Kachuk card that I'm signing."
Call me crazy. I have this massive gut feeling that Florida is gonna like look like this is gonna be the trade that Florida like Panthers fans are gonna be like, we never should have ever done that.
I kind of agree. I sort of hope it does work out that way too, because I don't really like the Panthers like one bit. And for some reason, I've talked about it before. I love the Flames. So plus Huberdeau's a legend, low key. Like, I don't know. I got a lot of respect for that dude.
Apparently, when he's done this contract, he will be top 10 all time in career earnings amongst NHL players.
Wow.
Absolutely. It makes sense. I mean,
He'll be over 100 million career earnings after this. So
didn't have to pay state tax in Florida too. So
yeah. I think it's a great deal for the Flames. Not obviously he's a star, but You get the big name, Kachuk leaving, Gaudreau leaving, everybody's kind of down in the dumps, and then you get, probably a guy who could have been in the MVP race or was right there in it all year long, signed long term. I think it's great for the Flames. I actually think, hot take, I think they might be better this year than last year.
I'm sorry, I still can't wrap my head around the fact that Johnny Gaudreau is going to be on the freaking Columbus Blue Jackets this year.
It's
That's
just
not
like
real. That's fake. That's fake. That's not real.
Do you think the Flames are going to be better this year? Like, am I crazy for saying that? They lose 2-star players, bring in one.
I don't know. They
I
could
don't
be.
think
They
you're
still
too.
have a
I
lot of
see
talent
like
there.
I see where you're going with it, and I don't think you're too far off. I think they will probably look to get one more key piece at the deadline, and if they get a big fish, look out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with that. And I also think Florida, like, dude, the amount of shit they've given up for Giroux and Kachuk, and they've given up like 5 draft picks, Mackenzie Weegar, Owen Tippett, Jonathan Huberdeau, like they're just dishing out all of this shit left and right over the last couple months. It's like I don't, and with Bob Bosky's contract, they might be screwed. I don't know.
Yeah.
No one's gonna take that guy.
No, absolutely not. Not for that money.
No. So the Sharks, they're going to retire Patrick Marleau's number 12 in February. Thanks for playing like 5 games with the Pens. That was cool. And then the Ducks, they signed John Klingberg to a 1-year deal reported at $7 million. So congrats to Klingberg on your Orange County state tax. All right.
Watch those Ducks, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to the World Junior stuff here in a second, but if the Ducks could just tank, they might be okay.
Oh my God.
Well, let's get into the World Juniors chat. But before we do, I think Mac has a word from Sharp Rank.
Sure do. Just want to remind you that this upcoming season, all of our picks are going to be powered by Sharp Rank. Sharp Rank created the first ever cross sport rating system, ranking bettors from any sport on one leaderboard that anyone can dominate, even you. Sharp Rank is backed by some of the biggest names in the sports gambling world, such as BetMGM, Betway, and Sports Illustrated. Download the free app for iPhone and Android today. Nick, you want to drive the bus rather on the World Junior stuff?
Sure, absolutely. I don't know if you guys have been watching it all. I've watched a little bit since I've been back in the Maryland area after my trip out west. Got some great quarterfinal matchups coming up today, the day you guys will be listening to this. That's the 17th. Finland's going to play the Germans at noon. The Swedes and the Latvians will play at 3:30. Canada and Switzerland will be at 7, and then the U.S. and the Czechs will be at 10:30. Once again, the U.S. gets shafted with a shitty draw on this, as usual. Big shout out to Latvia, though. I mean, they pulled off a huge upset, beating the Czechs and advancing to the quarterfinal for the first time ever. So I know they have a tough draw against Sweden, but that's awesome for them. One of the reasons why this tournament is just so great. Canada is stacked. Bedard and McTavish have been a blast to watch together. And I do love how, like, I'll go on like TSN after these games and like the Canadian writers will try and write objectively about this team that just shit pumped someone like 7-1.
Yeah.
And it's like, but Connor Bedard says we still have a lot to give. It's like, well, he's not going to go out there and say, yeah, we just dropped our sack all over Finland. Like you can't say that. So it's so entertaining. Good win for the US over the Swedes the other night, 3-2, gutsy win, carry that momentum into the quarterfinals against the Czechs. Hopefully they can get it done tonight.
So I guess we got to talk about Bedard a little bit. I was watching some highlights from, I can't remember who they played. It might have been Switzerland. I don't know. They just played yesterday, and at the first intermission report after they were up 3-0, if you didn't see the highlight, Bedard gets a pass from McTavish, like in the neutral zone, comes down the right wing, and literally like OV, like Matthews, like wrist curl snapshot, just top cheese, probably like 92 miles an hour right off the wrist. It's insane watching him shoot. He scores a goal. And then at intermission, Bob McKenzie was saying that in his Team Canada career, like when he's wearing a Team Canada jersey, whether it's U16, U20, whatever, he has 21 goals in 18 career games.
Yep.
He's good. He's a goal a game, if and better. I mean, this kid he's the next McDavid. There's no other way to paint it. Like, he's going to be that good.
It's crazy to think the last time, and we were talking about this in our group chat, that you've seen a player that people are saying if he was old enough, I would have drafted him like 2 years ahead of time.
Yeah, he's 17 years old, and he might have the fourth best shot in the world.
Yeah.
I was reading a tweet today. It was like Matthews, Line, Ovechkin, and Bedard's like fourth, and I was like,
I believe it.
I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? I kind of buy it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could see it. He's going to end up having 100 points his rookie season. I would be shocked if he didn't. It's going to be fun to see who tanks for him and who's like
Yeah.
purposely.
I was gonna say, but where's he gonna go? That's the big question.
I will literally cry myself to sleep if Philly goes and gets him because they finished last, because they're going to suck so much this year.
But see, here's the thing. They're going to think that they can come into this season and just be bad. And then they're going to forget that they have to try and be bad. And then they'll end up being like the third worst team in the league. And
I also don't think that Tortorella is gonna allow any sort of like
Yeah,
that's true.
tankage. You know, he's gonna be like, I don't give a shit about Connor Bedard. You're here to play hockey right now.
Yeah.
One
Jay-
player doesn't make a team. The team makes it a team.
Yeah. Jay,
And
I
they're
don't-
all gonna be like, no, but we want Bedard.
yeah, but we want him.
Right.
Jay, I don't want to, I guess tease you too much, but the Hawks, all of a sudden trading Patty Kane and Jonathan Taves doesn't seem like such a bad idea if you can get this kid.
Or
Oh.
suck with them there and
Oh.
have just a line of Bedard, Tays, and Kane.
Could you imagine that?
Jesus
Like,
Christ.
And I have to say, I shout out to Twitter for showing the highlights of future Blackhawk Connor Bedard. It's been an absolute pleasure seeing those highlights from time to time. But yeah, no, Bedard, like, honestly, I would trade Jonathan Tays and like 3 first round picks for Bedard. Like, full
Yeah.
stop. I wouldn't do it for Kane because Kane's probably still got 4 or 5 years of like still awesome play left in him.
You're
But
emotionally attached too. I mean,
I'm too emotional. Like the jersey right here, it's a Patrick Kane jersey. I'm way too emotionally attached to him to trade him. So
yeah, no, I get that. I get that. What about Kent Johnson? This kid is insane. We're talking about the Blue Jackets last episode when they got Johnny Hockey. This kid is the real deal. Pulling off Michigan goals like it's nothing.
You have to think that had to be a selling point for bringing Johnny Hockey to Columbus. Like, hey, I know we haven't done anything recently. Look at where we're going.
Yeah, that kid is nasty. And what's his nuts? The Coyotes pick, Logan Cooley. He tried it too for Team USA, just missed it by a couple inches. That was pretty sweet as well. But yeah, it's shaping up to be a good tournament. Hoping we can get a USA and Canada gold. That would be awesome.
That would be sick.
Other than that, boys, not a whole lot to talk about. Let's do a little catch up on the summer here. Nick, why don't you talk about your trip to Colorado and all the stuff that you did?
Yeah, I went out to Denver for a week with the fam. It was great to, just get out and do some stuff. I think I've mentioned on here that normally when my family travels, we're in the water for about 9 to 12 hours every day, diving or snorkeling. So to switch it up was always great. Caught a Rockies game. Awesome park. Oh my God. You guys have to go if you haven't.
Did you see some dingers? Big hitters.
Saw some absolute dingers. The mascot is also named Dinger, so I also saw him as well.
Amazing.
So we count that as like 3 to 5 dingers.
Yeah, he counts as a few for sure.
Yeah, we were pretty close to like the Dodgers dugout, so like got to see like Kershaw, and like my dad got to see like Mookie Betts up close. So that's pretty cool. It was actually one of the Dodgers players. It was his MLB debut, and he went yard in like the 3rd inning too. So that was like really cool. Like pretty
Do you
much.
remember who it was?
I don't off the top of my head.
Okay. I just saw the Dodgers last night at Miller Park. So
yeah, but it was cool because like the whole stadium like stood up and applauded for him, because it's like, I mean, come on, like first game, that's amazing.
Yeah,
a lot of respect. Yeah, that's cool.
That was awesome. Bike tour through Garden of the Gods National Park. That was amazing. Concert at Red Rocks, Dixie Chicks. I mean, come on, that's like right in my wheelhouse.
You're the best son in the world, you know that?
Also like kind of my target dating demographic. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
Kidding. I'm
There's
kidding.
No, you're not.
Whoa,
everybody,
yeah.
find out where your mom is tonight.
Lock up the house.
No, that was, I mean, that tailgate experience was a ton of fun. Like we just tailgated out of our rental car and like you have to walk up like a 45-degree like grade just to get there. I don't know how people got out of there, but yeah, it was a ton of fun. Fly fishing all day, one day. That was amazing. Pulled in some hogs. So
Nice.
I just like while I was there, I just kept looking up at the sky like every 10 minutes. I'm like, it just goes forever up there. So yeah, awesome time.
And didn't you have a rant?
Oh yeah. Yeah, the people there, man, they don't know how to walk
They don't know how to. Well, they probably can't walk straight if you catch my drift.
Hold up.
because they're high, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop you right there before you go any further because when you texted us this like a few weeks ago or whatever, and you were like, incoming rant, long story short, people don't know how to walk.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the most like old guy
Old man
rant
rant. Yeah,
ever.
absolutely.
And
Yeah.
it just cracked me up. So
Mentally,
I'm very ready to hear this.
yeah,
Continue.
mentally 6 or 86. Doesn't matter which one, it flips back and forth. It's like every person I was behind on the sidewalk was walking in like a zigzag pattern, like you would see like a submarine captain do to avoid a torpedo. I swear to God. I'm like, dude, like one side of the sidewalk or the other, just pick. I don't know if it's me when I'm in a city and I get like my city walk back and just start booking it, but yeah, I like had to like brake check myself like 10 times to stop someone from just walking into me. So
They're all probably high. I mean, they don't. Spatial awareness diminishes a little bit.
yeah.
Have you ever tried walking around at a Costco before?
Oh my God. It's like, do you know how many
Bad.
times my ankle just gets drilled by like that double wide cart?
Oh, that double wide car is insane, but it's
That'll
for all
do
the big
some-
bulk items.
Yeah,
You know,
it'll do
you
some
gotta-
damage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You should
Costco-
be required to take a moving through space 101 course before walking around a Costco on a Saturday afternoon.
Well said. I also think Trader Joe's belongs in that conversation.
Oh yeah, the one in Kenilworth. Good luck. It's a war zone. Literally, you're in the trenches. It's
Yeah.
insane. But I'm glad you had fun. What about Richmond? How'd that go?
Richmond was a good ass time. About 9 boys for like 2 days in NASCAR. So you can imagine what that hotel bathroom smelled like. Or just the hotel room itself smelled like, but always a good time in
Same thing.
Richmond. It was sweltering hot. I don't know if you guys recall, but they actually bumped this race up a month from last year. So it was in August instead of September. And that field was just like a crock pot. It just cooked itself during the tailgate. But we had great seats, great weather, and I'm still pretty exhausted from that one. I did not go hard at all. I was kind of dad on this trip. So
You learned from last year.
I learned from last year. I had my fun last year. See, last year was an outlier because normally I'm dad when it comes to like the tailgate stuff. So
You got too excited when Mac Daddy came into
when
town.
Mac Daddy
and then-
came, yeah,
Yeah.
that was a special day. So
That story is still so popular amongst like that group of guys. Like you
Good.
getting out of an airport in a suitcase.
oh,
Walking
we
through
talked about it like 10 times this weekend. Yeah.
walking through a grass field in a NASCAR race, like fully clothed with a suitcase. Like, hey guys, I just got off a plane.
Yeah, so funny. But no, it was a great time.
Minutes later, I'm drunk.
Who could have foreseen this happening?
No.
Yeah.
Mac, I think you got some good beer league stories, couple summer stories. Why don't you share with the listeners what you've been up to?
I do. Let's jump right into the beer league stuff because this has been at the forefront of my noggin recently. So Team Camino, we just played our final regular season game, and the playoffs are coming up this Friday. But I'm here to tell you about the final 2 regular season games, particularly the second to last one, which was now about 2 weeks ago. We ended up 500 on the regular season. So we went 5-5 and we won our last 2 games. So it was not a great start to the season, but finished strong. We've got some momentum. Actually, now I think about it, it's the third. God, it has been that long since we've been on the show. It's the third to last game that I really am trying to tell you about. I can skip the other two, but here's what happened. We are playing Milwaukee Tool, and unfortunately, it's less than 5 minutes into the first period, and we are losing 6-0. 6 goals in like 4 minutes, and before you know it, you're just like, oh shit, we're fucked.
It's going to be one of those. We're getting
and
speed
we're
bagged.
and we're and like there's no more just annoying feeling because now you're like, mother, now we just have to sit here.
Like now I'm going to be here for an hour.
We have to play this entire game, and there's just no way we can like win. Probably, like, I mean, stranger things have happened in beer league, but you know how it goes. You're like, we're kind of fucked, and this was all happening because of our goalie. Unfortunately, I love our goalie. He's great. He's actually a really, really good goalie. Everyone has bad days. Don't know what the hell happened to him. He just didn't show up that game, and he was the first to admit it afterwards. But all of this is besides the point, just the background necessary for you to understand that, like I said, it's about 5 minutes into the first. We're losing 6-0. We've already been called for like 2 penalties that like were kind of questionable. And we're like, bro, we're losing 6-0. You're really gonna like keep calling penalties on us, whatever. And it's this ref. This is the story, boys. This is the meat and potatoes here.
See, this is coming out. I can see it.
The ref, he's not our normal guy. We usually have this one guy, younger dude named Billy, and this dude, he's like an older guy, Reagan or something. I think that's like his last name, and it's fitting because he just puts the freaking hammer down, you know. And but this guy, he just has such like an authority complex, you know. He's one of those guys that's just like, this is his big moment to like
he got into refereeing for the whistle.
He like probably like failed cop school or something, and so now he's like a ref, and it's like, okay, dude, like give it up. But anyway, I get a trip penalty that I don't necessarily agree with, and we're losing 6-0. And I am skating to the penalty box, and I literally said under my breath, I was just like, this is fucking brutal. That's all I said, word for word. And I get in the bench, and like I was kind of just talking about like the game in general. I mean, sure, I was talking about the call, but I really wasn't like yelling at him. I just like skated off, and I was like, God, this is fucking brutal. I get in the box, and he like doubles back, skates back to the time thing, and it's like, add another 2 for 20, like for unsportsmanlike conduct. And dude, I was like, bro, what? I was like, are you
my God?
Like in a 6-0 game,
6-0
right now, like give it up, dude. And so then I'm mad. I'm yelling now. Now I'm like, I wasn't even talking to you. Like I'm screaming at him. I'm like, get back here. Like I wasn't talking to you. The other ref skates over to me, and he's like an old kooky like dingbat type. And he literally skates over and he goes, what, did you call him a funny name or something? And I go, no, I didn't, but I guess he thought I did or something. And he's like, he's just in a mood today or whatever, and like skates away. And then like halfway through my penalty, the original ref like is like, it's, you know, play is happening. He happens to be passing the box, and he like turns to me while he's like standing there on the ice, and he just goes, keep your fucking mouth shut or I'll give you more penalties. And I was like,
dude,
what is wrong with this guy? Like
that's just like unprofessional at that point. Like you can't do that if you're going to be like controlling a game, or at least attempting to.
It pissed me off so badly. And so fast forward to the third period, and now we stopped the bleeding pretty good. I think at this point it's like the third period, and it's like 7-3 or something like that. And one of my teammates, who's a really good player, had also just kind of had enough, and he was like battling with a dude in the corner like pretty hard, like was just, you know, had just decided, I'm not losing this battle in this corner at this part of the game. And they're kind of pushing each other, whatever. And our guy slashes their guy and breaks his own stick, slashing him.
Right.
So he like drops his stick, and he's like, man, fuck this. And the kooky dingbat ref calls him for a 2-minute slash, right? And freaking badass Reagan comes flying across the ice and goes, no, 5 in a game. And he kicks him out for a slash and is like, get out of here. And there's literally 5 minutes left in the third period at this point. And he's like probably our best player, which also means he couldn't play the next game too. And we were all like, can you stop it? Like, can you?
He also just like broke his own stick too. Like, give the
Yeah,
kid
we
a
were like,
break.
dude, seriously, he was pissed like at himself for all that enough, and he was just like, "Oh my god, this is ridiculous." And so he just like goes down, and I'm standing there talking to the other team, and the dude that he slashed comes up to me and goes, "What's this guy's problem today?"
What's this guy's deal?
And I was like, dude, I don't know. Like, was that bad? And he's like, no, I just thought it was like a hockey play, like just like a battle. I don't know. Maybe I guess 2 minutes for slashing him if he broke the stick. That's like evidence. But 5 minutes, I've never seen a 5-minute penalty for a slash unless it's like to the head.
Yeah, like the ones from the 70s where like they break the wooden stick over a guy's head who doesn't have a helmet on, then yes. But like,
anyway, that was kind of the big drama. And then we ended up winning our next 2 games. And now I like where we're headed for the playoffs. We play like one of the shittier teams first. So hopefully we can get by them Friday and then we'll go from there.
I'm surprised you haven't started calling them the Milwaukee Tools by now.
Oh, people do it all the time.
Okay.
And there's one guy on their team that's always there, and he's number 20, which is also my number. But he's this old guy, and he just kind of like floats around and like glides around, but he like scores goals because he's big and strong on his stick. And he's that guy who's always hooking you and shit too. Like he plays that old school game or whatever. He's so annoying. We all call him Old Man Tool.
Old man. we need USA Hockey referee numbers for Reagan Power Trip and Donkey Donk or whatever the fuck you call it.
Dingbat.
Dingbat. Yeah.
Donkey Donk.
I feel bad. Dingbat's actually a really nice old guy. He's just like a sweet old dude. And he fell down in one of the games too. And I was like, dude, are you okay? And he was like, I don't know. I was like, shit.
I don't know. I need the money for the milk and the beer for the wife.
Yeah.
I don't know why that sounds like a Scoop voice to me, Harry.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking that.
Is it bad that I thought of help? I've fallen and I can't get up.
Yeah.
He's not quite that bad. I don't think he needs life alert, but he's just a little slow and whatever. So that's beer league.
What'd you steal?
Okay, yeah. So this one I actually didn't even like. This one wasn't my fault. I swear.
Okay.
It was an accident.
Yeah, because the last one was also not your fault.
No, that one was my fault. Well, it's not my fault that whatever. New story, new day. This was last night. I was at the Brewers Dodgers game at Miller Park. Yes, I'm still calling it Miller Park. I refuse to call it anything else. And it's like the second inning. I go down to the concourse and I'm trying to get a beer. And they have these like marketplace stands where you like kind of just walk in there and you get the beer off like the shelf. And then you bring it to this little like self-checkout type thing.
Where
and
they
there's
like weigh it, right?
They don't weigh it, but there's a guy there like helping you do it basically. Like there's like three little...
I saw them at Coors. It's like the little mini, like almost like a 7-Eleven like corner.
Yes,
You just like walk in, pull it
exactly.
out.
And they have like peanuts and like 3 different kinds of beers, and like you can get what you need and just do it. So I'm doing this and I'm talking to this guy. He's a pretty chill ass dude. And he's like, you got it, bro. Like you need some help. And I was like, oh, I think I got it. And like scanning the beer. And then I go, oh, wait, y'all probably don't take cash at these things. I didn't even think about that. And he was like, yeah, no. And then he's like, and he like kind of looks around for a second. And then he's like, well, okay, you see that guy in the blue shirt over there? That's like my manager type shit. So like I like to take cash, but like I can't really do it like when he's here. So like if you come back in like a couple innings for another beer, like then I would take your cash and like just pocket it, and then like you could basically just like steal the beer at that point and I'd show you some other love. That's literally what he said. He's like, and I'd show you some other love. And I was like, okay. It's like, well, I don't know about all that, but I'm gonna get this one beer with my credit card right now, and like thanks. And so I like left, and then it's like the 5th inning and I'm like, all right, I'll get one more. So I go back out there and I'm like, let's just see what the hell this guy is talking about. And I go over there and I see that the blue guy is gone, like the supervisor person. Sure enough, he had left in like the 4th inning or something. And I go over there and he's like, "Oh, you're back." And I was like, "Yo, yeah, like, are we in the clear?" And he's like, "Yeah, what you getting?" And I was just holding one Miller Lite again at that point, which was $10, by the way, which for a stadium tall boy, that's like
Oof.
not that bad.
Actually,
Honestly, I
no.
feel like
Not at all.
No, you're not.
like usually at Caps games, those things are like 14, $15. I feel like at least
Yeah.
Dodger Stadium, they're like 18. So I was like $10, whatever, I'll take it. So I'm buying it and he goes, oh, "Okay, what kind of cash you got?" And I pull out and I only had a 20. And he goes, "Oh, all right. I'll tell you what, just like two more beers and some peanuts too." And I was like, he's like, "All right." And so next thing he's handing me the beer back. He's like, "Here, just take that, give me that." And I hand him the 20 and he's like sketching out. He's like looking all around and he just shoves the 20 in his pocket and he's like, "Just go get your shit and get out of here, bro." And I was like, "Okay." And so I just took like 3 Miller Lights and a bag of peanuts and I'm just like walking back to my seat with that. And you know how normally at games they have to like open them for you and everything too. He didn't do any of that. He just was like, "Just grab some of that shit out of there and go and like be quick about it." And I was like, "All right." So I'm holding like I get to the seats. I'm like crack open the Millers and like gave 2 to my friends. And I'm like, this feels weird. Like,
So he just basically greenlit you to like, like to
well,
steal.
the
and
way
then
I
was
understood
like-
it is
he's
he
like, "All right, you got
probably
your shit. Get out of
knows.
here."
The other thing is when I initially asked if he took cash like back in the second inning and he was like, "No, I'll come back later." He was like, "Yeah, because once that guy leaves, I can run shit how I like to run it around here." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
You mean like not charge people for the stuff that you're selling so
Yeah.
you can pocket the money?
Well,
Like-
and it like that's exactly it. But like the more I thought about it, I'm looking at this giant shelf. It's literally like a gigantic shelf of like over 100 beers. And I'm like, this guy probably just knows there's no way they take like fucking inventory of that shit at the end of the night. They just like,
Yeah.
and they probably even account for like some of them to like get unscanned or like
dropped half.
or
I mean,
an-
like how many
or an
times have you
issue or what, like, yeah. So if the numbers
bought a
aren't
beer? Yeah.
exactly right, I'm sure it's totally fucking fine. And so he probably just knows that and was like, "Yeah, I could use $20 cash right now. And I don't really give a fuck if this guy gets like 2 more beers than he's supposed to." Like,
I wonder how much he makes a night doing that.
yeah, I couldn't tell if like he does this just like occasionally when he thinks he can, or if it's like literally constant. But anyway, if you are in Milwaukee and you're going to the Brewers game, sit in section 412. And it's the section right outside there. So tickets were also
Nice.
$6 last night to see the Dodgers.
Mhm.
So literally like $4 cheaper than your 3 beers.
Yes.
You were, yeah, Nick, you said green lighted. I was going to say gaslighted. I don't know if that's the right term. Green lighted, gaslighted to go to basically, I guess you didn't steal. You technically paid for it.
That's
so.
why I said it wasn't my fault. Now, do you agree? It wasn't my fault.
It's that guy's
It was
fault. He
not.
has to allocate the funds.
I
just
mean,
gave it
you
to him.
could claim like, "Oh, the guy said like we're only taking cash. I was drunk as shit and just handed him cash." But like,
Right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely could. I
Money
also
is
don't.
money.
I don't think anybody is ever gonna know or give a fuck unless they listen to this podcast.
no.
Get the
Wow.
Milwaukee Brewers like staff management, CEO, or like supervisor listening in on this. Like, all right, who's that fucker in 412?
Yeah, literally.
But like, I've definitely had people at certain hockey venues sell me beer for cash after the.
Oh,
yeah.
100%. Especially when after like, what is it? After the second intermission when the third period's going on, like you kind of
Yeah.
like
If you
You
go out
walk
there
in-
within the first 5 minutes of the third
Yeah.
period and you say,
This
"Hey,
ex-
sorry, I was in the bathroom. The line was insanely long." They'll just be like, "Yeah, just whatever cash you have in your pocket, leave on the counter."
So
I'm gonna
this
leave the beer on the
experience
counter.
actually made me think back to my stolen White Claw situation at the Caps playoff game and made me wonder, had I just not even tried to like finesse all that, and had I just like gone up to that dude on the low that Steven was distracted and been like, "Hey dude, I really need a beer and you look like you could use $20." Like, I wonder if that would have worked also.
I
But
think it would have. I mean, if
You
I
might
was in
never
that
know.
situation, I could use $20
right.
because I
Yeah.
could give you one beer and then leave work and turn that into like 4 beers.
Right. Very true. Well, maybe not in DC, but
Maybe not in DC. So maybe 1.5 beers in DC, but
still more than, yeah.
yeah.
Anyway.
Wow.
That's it.
I think I just got smarter and dumber all at the same time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If my macro and micro classes freshman year had been in terms of beers instead of like numbers, I think I actually would have graduated college on time.
Wow, that
Oh,
was
good.
good.
man.
Jay, how's your summer been, man?
Been pretty crazy, honestly. Not in the pseudo stealing beers from Miller Park crazy, but nah, just been super busy working for a different internship and pumping out 1 to 2 articles a week
I'm
over
seeing
there.
that. Loving the content.
Yeah.
Good stuff, dude.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to write. I just wrote a story about Ryan Poles and Bears GM and how he's been doing. I got another NFL needs article. It's getting on the NFC West upcoming. So that's been good. And then I've been trying to apply for credentials for Bears games right now. So to actually
Ooh,
cover that.
That's exciting, dude.
So
Yeah.
I did request for the Sunday night game in Green Bay since I'll be in Milwaukee. So
That would be so cool.
Nice.
that
fingers
would be
crossed
sick.
on that. Fingers crossed on that.
Yeah, good luck.
Good, man. That's awesome. Real quick, I'm gonna put you and Mac on the spot. Don't think too long about this, but if you had to pick a World Series winner right now, who you got?
I'm gonna be biased. It's Mets season, baby. Go Mets.
Yeah, I think the Mets are
I'm
due.
all over this baseball team. My friends always give me crap because they say that I'm like a fan of like 4 different baseball teams and that it's bullshit, which I don't necessarily disagree with. But I have my reasons. It's not like it's all fucking random. I'm O's first and above everything, obviously. Brewers are right up there because obviously I've spent a hell of time in Milwaukee. You know, you latch onto them, especially when the O's are bad. But then I got to show love to my dad's team, the White Sox, and my mom's team, the Mets. So it's like, those are my teams. And
Yeah.
this year, for some reason, I've been so freaking excited about this Mets team. Love their players, love the pitching staff. How could you not, right? Scherzer and DeGrom, Taiwan Walker. Thanks for trading him to me.
Diaz.
Earlier in the season. That was pretty awesome. But yeah, I would say Mets World Series champs. You heard it here first.
But it's the New York Mets. I've seen this movie before. I can tell you how this movie is going to end.
What, they're gonna lose to the Royals?
yeah.
Yes.
or just like
68-69
collapse
Royals.
again. But yeah.
Jay, who do you got?
You know what? I'm gonna go dark horse. I'm
Ooh.
gonna say the
Baltimore
Seattle
Orioles.
Mariners.
Wow.
They're
I like
hot.
that
They-
pick. I like
they-
that pick.
They've cooled off a little bit. They're 6-4 in their last 10, but I don't know. There's something about the Mariners. They'll get Julio Rodriguez back, I think, before the season ends. They're just another really fun team. If you'd asked me like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I probably would have said as a dark horse like the Minnesota Twins, because I'd written an article partially about the Twins, and I just loved their story. But now they're second in the AL Central, so that means they're not going to do anything. So
That division is pretty bad,
yeah,
honestly.
like the Orioles would be the second team in that division. Just
I
behind the
keep
Guardians.
telling people, I was like, if the Orioles were in like the AL Central, it'd be
Any
over
other
for the
division?
O's. Literally, yeah. That division is a gauntlet, the AL East.
Yeah. So, but I like what the Mariners are doing, and they got a pretty good record at home, 31-26, so they can sneak away. So
I still have a weird
I will
feeling about the
say-
Braves. I don't know why.
Again?
Yeah.
No, dude. No.
Not
don't
maybe
say
not
that.
again, but like I would not be shocked if they got back.
If they lost.
hate that.
in the
Yeah, like
series
if
or
they got
something.
back and lost, or like, you
Mhm.
know, CS and lost, but
I mean,
I don't hate that.
yeah, they did just beat the Mets 13-1 yesterday. So, I will say last thing up. Well, two final notes on baseball, and then we can be done. Earlier today, I saw a picture of like the MLB posted like, here's what the playoffs would be if it ended right now, and the Orioles are not in. They're close, but they're not in right now. And I just scrolled through the comment section, and this isn't the Orioles page; it's just the MLB Instagram. Scrolled through the comment section, and like every other comment that had like tons of likes was like, the O's will be in, don't you worry, or like Orioles are sneaking in here. Orioles 2022 World Series champs. You heard it here first. Like everyone is all over this freaking like Cinderella story that the O's are still like only a couple games out of the playoffs. with like a month left, and I love it. Love the energy so much.
It's like
Yeah.
Michael Scott said, I am ready to get hurt again.
Yes, honestly.
Yep.
And then last thing, I feel like we just have to say something about the Fernando Tatis situation because it's so funny.
Yeah.
Someone bring me up to speed, but his dad released a statement that he got a haircut that like made him test positive for PEDs.
No.
I haven't heard that, but
So-
I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of excuse. I don't know. Dude.
So the first excuse that most people know about when Tatis Jr. Released his statement was that he had used the banned substance to help treat a ringworm that he had. So sounds fairly reasonable. I'm like, all right, that could be plausible, but he's not appealing the suspension, so maybe not. But Tatis Sr. comes out with an absolutely wild statement saying that the banned substance was because Tatis Jr. had a hair fungus
Oh,
after a haircut, I think. I don't know if the haircut
did he have
part
like
was in there.
ringworm on his scalp or something? You can get that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if ringworm is fungus, though. Those sound like two different things.
Some sort of.
you
I
are
mean,
asking the wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna
yeah.
say.
Fuck.
Where
I
are
don't
your
know.
MDs? Come on, help me out
Right.
here.
Yeah.
No. Wrong three guys.
We are not.
I have a
we-
different kind of MD, but yeah.
We
You're
cannot
from MD.
legally
Yeah,
give out
there you go.
medical advice on this podcast.
Yeah.
So
Gambling
that
advice, not medical advice.
So that's the current excuse or
Stealing
reason.
advice.
So,
Well, I don't want to say it's funny. It is a little funny, but I can't help, especially because I couldn't care one way or another about the Padres in general. So to me, it is a little bit funny that they went in so hard at the trade deadline to get Soto, to get Josh Bell, and
hater.
yeah, and Hader, and they already have Tatis and Machado and like all these superstars, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, they're so stacked now. They have to win." And then it's like you hear this news a couple days ago, and it's just like common Padres L.
Yeah, like this is quintessential. Like, oh, crap, who's their GM again? Like Blake. Oh, who is it?
I can't
AJ
remember.
Preller. AJ
Oh,
Preller.
oh,
This
yeah,
is
that sounds
classic
right.
AJ Preller. Just swing like huge moves and then they'll like somehow collapse in the most hysterical
Swing and a
way.
miss.
They'll collapse in the most hysterical way possible. So
Yeah.
I will say I love the Dodgers uniforms. Or not the Dodgers, the
The Padres,
uniforms.
I
Yeah,
agree.
those
Actually,
are
the
great.
brown hats are awesome.
Yeah.
The brown
Yeah.
helmets and the hats, those are sick.
They're tough. I still
I didn't
pull for
hate the
Manny.
old ones too, with the like the navy and white SD on them.
Yeah, and like
I
the
like those.
orange and navy and
Yeah.
white. Yeah, those are cool.
just never bring back those all-star jerseys. Never again.
I still pull for Manny. I still got a lot of love for Manny. So I root for the Padres, like, you know, whenever they're on like Sunday Night Baseball or whatever. But yeah,
Fun team, right?
They're cool.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I like their vibe in general. I do, and I like the uniforms. I agree with you, but they cannot get out of their own way, and it is a little bit
No,
funny.
absolutely not.
Objectively, a little funny.
Yeah. They have a New York Knicks syndrome.
They do.
Oh God, don't get me started on
Linsanity.
Here we go. All right, everybody. Well, that will wrap it up for this episode. But before we go, I think Nick has one last word for our friends at Kane Footwear.
I do, yeah. Before we move on, let's take a second for some rest and recovery because we all know that's important. From Kane Footwear, if you haven't heard, they're changing the game by providing a unique shoe focused on recovery while being made from sustainable materials. The Kane Revive sneaker is made with bounce back foam created from Brazilian sugarcane. A renewable resource, sugarcane helps reduce greenhouse gases by capturing CO2 as it grows. Kane's unique bounce back foam provides the ideal balance of cushioning and support to help the body renew. Head to the link in any of our social bios today to grab a pair of the most comfortable shoes you will ever own. I had them on my entire time in Denver, and they were just absolutely fantastic.
I still don't take them off. I swear to God.
Yeah.
They are the best shoes you will ever own. All right, everybody. Thank you for sitting through our summer catch-up, World Junior preview, sitting and chatting baseball and hat trick segment. We hit through it, the kitchen sink at this episode. to try to get some material here. So we're almost through the dog days of summer. We are going to be having season previews here probably in the next month, just about. We'll be getting rolling full steam ahead here shortly, get back into the swing of things. Appreciate you all for listening. Thank you for the love and support. And without further ado,
Class dismissed.